That's the
People
Jinx.
make stupid fucking mistakes.
If you want to go watch this, it's called The Jinx. It's about Robert Durst.
Now that's fascinating, and it's fascinating because you describe a situation in which a guy, he doesn't realize he's Mike, so he fucks up, right?
Yep.
Tiger King is the total opposite. Tiger King is taking advantage of something that a lot of documentary crews find out, is that if you're there for long enough and you film literally everything, everybody just kind of forgets that you're actually there.
Yeah. So I keep hearing
and
about
you can
that.
catch anything.
I want to say that's just human nature because it works too well across the board. There's way too many cases of people that, they just, at first you're self-conscious, but then it just takes too much energy to keep up the appearances. So then you just relax into a state of being yourself. And at some point, you don't really even think about the cameras, right? But he did think about the cameras when the TV show started. And when Joe Exotic had to walk around to all of his staff who were just doing their normal jobs and be like, "Hey, you, what the fuck's with those shoes?"
Yeah, it's a situation. I just took a look at it. It's was originally found out in something called a video series on total institutions by a sociologist named Goffman. Basically, the idea is that a total institution is like a prison, a mental hospital, certain kinds of hospitals, the army. It's a little pocket society. Mm-hmm. And they went to a mental institution at the time and just started filming it with the permission of the warden, essentially. And after a couple weeks, they stopped giving a shit that the cameras were there and just went right back to the crime shit that would happen all the time with the patients.
Right.
And ended up getting that place shut down and stuff like that. And then turns out, you put a camera on somebody for long enough, you just disappear entirely. And it's fascinating because Tiger King is so many things. I think that's probably the most crazy thing to me, is that it is so many different stories.
Do you understand?
And it's a nonsense escalation that just, like, by the end of the first episode, it's like, oh wow, this is gonna be a crazy story. And then the second episode is like, oh, who cares about that story from last episode?
Exactly. That's why.
Who gives a shit?
Yes, that's why this is being talked about so much, and why everyone is like, you gotta go in here, because it's your perfect mix of, like, these ridiculous characters on their own are so mind-bogglingly fascinating, but then the things happening are also just like, okay, swerve, not even like 90 degrees, but like full 180 and then 45 again, from wherever you were going, because you just end up in stranger than fiction events and scenarios,
just nonstop.
You couldn't Chuck Palahniuk couldn't fucking write something that baffling.
You go from like animal rights activists versus private zoos in the US and the drama within, to is that guy dead, to is this a cult, to on and on and on and on.
And I just love the consistency that is, if you own a fucking tiger, you're not normal. You cannot be normal. There has to be something in you.
They deal with Joe Exotic. They deal with Carol Baskins. They deal with that guy that was up north.
The guru.
Yeah, no, that's the doc. There's the other guy who teams up with Jeff Lowe at the end. That guy they were interviewing throughout the thing.
Monkey Man.
There's Jeff Lowe. There's all crazy cat people.
Everyone forgets about.
They're all insane.
Everyone forgets about Scarface too. Don't forget Scarface.
Oh, yeah, Scarface is there, yeah.
Everyone forgets about Scarface.
I think the craziest thing about Scarface is he starts talking, and he's like, oh, yeah, they based Tony Montana off of me. I went to jail for all yada, yada, yada. I had to sell all the millions of dollars of drugs because I kept having to buy all these animals. And it cuts to shots of what is essentially Tony Montana in a house zoo.
Yep.
And
private collection.
What?
It's great. I mean, listen, dude, like, there are just some fucking, like seeing that, and like, so I remember when we got to the John Oliver clip, that's where, like, Punch Mom was like, oh my god, yes, okay, no, this is kind of coming around. There's a connection. I must have seen this.
Clip.
And you're just like fucking what are you gonna do when now that we've gotten to meet this man? What kind of clip are you gonna see out of context entirely? And just some dude standing there going like, I refuse to cut my hair. I'm gay. I got 2 boyfriends. We just got married. I got a case against me from some bitch down in Florida. And he's standing next to tigers and he's like, and I'm running for president of the United States of America. And you're just like, this is the best. This is the best, you know? Like, and it's so nuts to see how like you would see that clip and fall in love with it immediately. And then now you get the backstory of like how all of that fits together. It's like, it's just like, it's beautiful, right? When they get past that point, I want to say right after they say that, they introduce you to the idea of him running for fucking for president and then for governor
For
and for all
office,
that.
yeah.
Did you see Josh? Poor Josh.
Here's the thing. You mentioned something about a vape pen that like made you laugh so hard that you had to leave the room. I don't get it. He smokes from a vape pen.
Okay, so it's the first time he shows up. I got multiple tweets from people going, dude, I just fucking fell over and lost my shit. Like I'm glad other people, you must have missed it. A lot of people didn't, but it's the first time he shows up and he goes, hi, my name's Joshua whatever, and I am Joe Exotic's campaign manager, and it was the worst year of my life. And then it just hard cuts to him inhaling. He takes a fucking suck on his jewel and goes,
yeah, I remember.
And it's
I don't get what
it's just the juxtaposition. It's just the cut of some poor normal guy, some poor normal libertarian who shows up and is just like, I'm the smart guy that he knew because I sold him ammo at a Walmart once. And so he's like, yeah, you seem pretty smart. You'll be my campaign manager. And he's like,
there's a real...
Okay. And like, it's just that exhale. That exhale, there was so much of his soul that came out of the fucking smoke in that.
There's a moment when he comes in, and I'm going to talk around this, but as soon as that campaign guy came in and starts talking, I'm like, oh, something really bad happened with you. Like, really bad.
Yeah.
And then I start paying attention to who's getting interviewed in what order.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, something's
really, up here.
Really, really bad happened here.
What's going
sure
on?
Enough, he gets it like the worst of almost any single person in that entire story.
It is almost like slapstick in how the footage exists. Right, he gets it so fucking rough, and it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous that the antics that it takes it to are such that he's just like, what the fuck did I sign up for? You know, this poor dude. And the fact too that
I just wanted to hang out with Tiger Man and do a little campaign thing. It'd be fun.
He's like, I don't care whose campaign it was. My dream job was campaign manager, whatever. And then the fact that it's like, hey, Joe, what are your views on anything? And he's like, whatever. And he's like, okay, cool, got it. And then like he literally just goes like, okay, so these are my things that I believe in. You're running for the Libertarian Party. And Joe's like, whatever. Yeah, sure. And just goes down the list of all the things that Josh himself believes in. Like, it is just a wild, and all of that is basically just the wild fucking it's one arc, you know? It is the campaign race arc of the story. It is completely like its own isolated bit that goes between the fucking Cell games and the Boo Saga.
I don't like it hits, and then then you get to the end of the story, which I feel doesn't conclusively end, and that's because it's real life and it's not conclusively over.
Last episode sucks. They kind of stretched it. Didn't need to be there.
You start typing, and you start finding out all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah.
About what's going on right now.
Yeah, poor Joe tested positive.
Poor Joe Exotic. Well, maybe it depends how much of a murderer he is. has unfortunately tested positive for our good friend the COVID.
Jeff Lowe, his partner, basically sitting there running the Ja Rule game, the Ja Rule school of thought of like, it's like, what is it? Would you call it entrapment? I'd call it whatever else he said. He said it in the exact same tone of voice, in the exact same way that Ja Rule said false advertising.
Jeff Lowe, unfortunately, continues to be a person.
Well, there's that. There's that. And then
it's wild to me in a giant cavalcade in which everyone is either so poor that they can't do anything or is the worst scum imaginable. The person who is ostensibly the focus of our story, who may be an attempted murderer and arsonist, is like the most relatable out of them all.
It's there. Shout outs to there's a Sam Roberts tweet where he shows a picture of them side by side and goes, "The Undertaker is what Jeff Lowe thinks he looks like."
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, like goddamn, it's so true. Yeah, man, and of course, right, the fact that you get all the way through and you're like, by the end, the big cats are the least interesting part of the story.
Oh, who cares about the tigers? Like,
it's nothing.
Tiger King, and you're like, oh, whatever.
You're waiting. You're sitting there with bated breath, waiting for the moment where you're like, okay, one of these fuckers is getting got, and it's like someone does get got, and then after that, there's another.
It's none of the people that you would think.
No, there isn't. And then after that, there's an almost get. When he's you son of a bitch. Fuck out of here! I'll shoot you, you stupid bitch.
Was there a moment when you were watching it where you got to see like alternate reality, washed up and bald Norman Reedus? With
possibly,
the fucking handyman Jeff Lowe's guy. It looks exactly like a bald, overweight Norman Reedus. It fucking freaked me out so bad.
You know as well as I do that Norman has friends that own tigers. He has no fewer than two. No fewer than two. He might be a full-on Hollywood star right now, so he might not have called them in a minute, but he knows no fewer than two.
There's something about that guy. I think that guy's my favorite character because of his introduction is so obviously a lie. Because he gets introduced as, who is this guy? He's my handyman. What's he do?
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
He's very loyal.
Yeah. Absolutely. Fucking
what does that mean?
Tear
he's
tattoo.
Extremely loyal. He's good. He's a good man.
So the problem is that type of thing. I know that I've told you about that from that's Jamaica has a lot of that, right? Yeah. My dad has like one of those people, right, on his property where it's just like, this is the guy, and what does he do? What do you need him to do?
He's a fixer.
He's
There's
around.
A word for that. It's called a fixer.
Yeah, and it's just what do you need? What, you need some basic construction? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, fix that.
You want some walls put up? Sure, no problem.
Yeah, please fix that. Yeah.
You want some heads cracked? Well, you can talk to some people, but he's just around. He's around, and that type of thing in this context. Of course it's going to go the direction it goes in,
But then it goes a different direction.
Yeah. Those taped phone calls, man, just the level of like, hey, so you working with the feds? I am. And, you're going to want to do exactly what I tell you to say on the phone right now. Okay. Yep. Whatever, whatever you say, guys. Yeah, it's incredible. Tiger King also, again, like, even though it follows Joe Exotic, you just get these other characters, man. Like, it goes into Doc's life, and I told you about like the moments where Doc is like setting up his character, and then he goes into character and then comes out of
places. That goes big places.
Exactly, right? Hard cut to ex-girlfriend, like, hey, so what was that all about? And she's like, okay, well, you know, big old fucking tiger cult. What are you gonna do?
What?
You
A
know,
cult?
and like, and just the idea, and like I think his son shows up for 1 second to go like, oh yeah, no, he's the center of his world, and whatever
Yeah,
else you call
he's
that.
he's like a discount Jesus, man.
But hey,
You know?
you want to get to know the tigers? Well, it's
So there was one thing about that whole show that really threw me, like bad, and it made like everyone seem even more insane than I thought, and that was every single person in that show at some point says, "Oh man, you got a tiger? People fucking do anything."
Yep, I was about to say.
Just-
Yep.
And I'm like, why? I mean, it's cool.
Nah, dude, you
But,
don't do
like-
you're missing the critical piece of information here, all right? You're missing the
All right.
part where one of the most popular photos on Tinder and Match for guys is the guy holding the baby tiger. The guy playing with the baby tiger photo is a massive hit. Because
But what's up? Why do bitches love tigers so much?
it's well, first of all, there's just the personal thing of like, look, it's cute, right? But then
Yeah.
there's the thing of like, but it's wild and untamed, right?
No,
and
it's not. It's in a zoo.
Shut up. It's wild and untamed. It represents the tiger that you were taught about in a storybook. Shut up. You were taught as a child, tiger is the fucking king of the jungle. This is what it is. All right?
The whole time Paige and I are watching it, we just keep like looking at the antics with the tigers, which occur on occasion, and we look over at our stupid cat and look back at the TV and go, they're just big cats.
Shut up. Wild and
They're
untamed.
just large house cats.
The system and the people in my life and the bad vibes, they try to pull me down, but I am untamed. I am a free spirit. I am a tiger. I am wild like this tiger I'm posing with right here, and anyone who knows me knows that this is my spirit animal, and I will pay to come pet it 3 times a week. And if you wheeled it into your Vegas bedroom in a fucking closed suitcase where the fucking thing couldn't breathe, I'm going to still pay to get up in that hotel. I'm going to take my photos for Instagram because everyone's going to love them, and then I'll throw some booty your way, and it is what it is.
They're just big cats.
They're tigers, Pat.
Also,
They represent the spirit.
Shit all. There's even the documentary's like, oh yeah, there's way more tigers in zoos than
It's
there are in
not.
the wild.
It of course, but that doesn't matter. It's the icon, man. Don't you remember how clownfish almost fucking died forever when Finding Nemo came out?
I remember a fucking explosion of animal crimes when 101 Dalmatians came out.
100%.
There were fucking news reports that were like, stop buying Dalmatians. They're actually bad with kids. They're not a beginner dog. Morons.
People, Pat, you seem to be like you need to understand that people will 100% endanger something or fuck it up or not care for the sake of symbolism IRL. People climb fucking buildings and take suicide shots. They do all kinds of crazy shit, right? Showing yourself off with a tiger, especially on a dating site. Do you not understand the idea that if I'm here with a tiger, right, and it's a cute baby tiger, then it means not only that this is my connection, that I have this type of like wild spirit, but also I'm sensitive, but I'm also powerful because I'm sensitive.
It just means you went and paid the fucking
shut the fuck up.
$300 to pet
I'm
a tiger and take a photo.
sensitive, but I'm powerful enough to have control over such a powerful animal, and we are the same, and you should look at us the same, and you should swipe right.
You know what, Willie? I feel very out of touch because I don't understand, despite your explanations, I just don't understand. I don't get it.
Symbolism.
Symbolism's fucking stupid.
That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist for people.
Here's a symbol for you.
Yeah,
to
100
those of you listening to the audio version, I'm holding up my middle finger.
Great. No one else like that doesn't change the fact that it's out there. It's stupid, but it exists, and that's the answer to why. You know, and like the level of how sad it is when you see them like holding up the fucking kitten and going to each person like take 2 steps, take 2 steps, take 2 steps, and just like snap, snap, snap. The conveyor belt line of like photos with it's like they don't care, man. These people, they like the idea of it, you know? They've got their fucking leopard print wardrobes like Carol does. They're coming from the same fucking school of thought. Also,
maybe humans were the real monsters all along.
Hey there, cats and kittens. Shit. Cool cats, cool kittens. What's up? It's like, I'll tell you.
Oh man, it's the one that he starts. It's the one that he starts the videos. What's up, motherfuckers? Like, I don't know why.
Okay, but hold on though. Okay,
wasn't that supposed to be like a campaign ad?
So you didn't. So the vape didn't get you. That's fine.
Yeah.
The fucking commercial, the campaign ad, that was good, right? You can't tell me what the fuck happened when it cut to here, kitty, I got something juicy for you.
That music video is incredible. And the look-alike they got for Carol is dead on.
So I'm like literally going like, praise Odin, thank everyone, thank you Jesus, God, Buddha, that this man is on top of all things a country singer. Right?
Well, he's not actually.
Well, that's where we go.
That's not his voice. That's not his song. He stole those songs.
So you find out afterwards that he completely didn't sing at all. There was a band, he paid them to do the music, and then he just lip synced over the whole thing. So that was fucking nonsense. But when watching this and it cuts to him singing and they establish that he's got multiple albums and you're like, holy fuck, thank you. It's the best.
Of course he does.
Because you need the Joe Exotic brand in all flavors and corners of life. You want to see when he's on a condom, you're like, fuck yeah, he's on a condom. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be?
It's fucking wild because like you see, this is the character that if you were to put this into a TV show, people would be like, this character is nonsense and outrageous. Like we're talking about.
That's why I keep saying the same thing. You can't write it.
Like a leg brace, wearing, mullet sporting, Oklahoma gay polygamist cowboy tiger man.
Worst eyebrow piercing I've ever seen.
Oh my god! It's like hanging on by a thread.
The worst I've ever seen. Unbelievably terrible eyebrow piercing. Little fucking flesh flap. And then straight up like, how do you keep these like Southern gentlemen around you? You going for hot hick. You got hot hick boyfriends out the wazoo. What the fuck are you doing? Well, it turns out you'll be gay for meth. It turns out, right? If you've got a really bad meth habit and you only got one source for it, then fuck it. I'll take one for the team, and the team being my meth habit.
Oh, damn. I love meth. It's my favorite.
And then, like, the fact that, too, it's like, by the end of the goddamn thing, some other poor dude is like, this, like, hot, in the prime of his life, attractive dude is like, I'll wait for you, Joe. You know, we had some good times, and sure, we got married after, like, weeks of knowing each other. And we practically stood on the fucking corpse of the last one, but hey, I'll wait for
Well,
you.
they
And you're
did,
like,
didn't they? They did actually stand on his corpse.
with the mom right there. With the mom right there.
So you know what's a bonus? So I did some reading. Did you know there was another one that was actually in the documentary, but his insanity didn't go anywhere, so he got cut?
Oh, no, I didn't.
So he was another guy that he married at 19 alongside the
Travis?
first one, not Travis. No. There was the guy with all the tattoos.
Yeah.
Right? Without a shirt for the whole documentary
Yeah.
for some reason.
Teeth.
Teeth. Before him, there was another one
Okay.
that worked on the fucking zoo.
Okay.
But he just fucked off. He didn't like die or go to jail or
Nothing
anything.
happened there.
He was just like, I'm out of here, man.
Okay. Well, again, meth will
Open doors.
open
for you.
all kinds of possibilities that you didn't think was possible. It's kind of wild.
You've got tigers and you've got meth. What do you have? Not meth tigers, but infinite husbands.
The world is yours. The world is yours. Poor fucking Travis, dude. And you're just like, this guy can go anywhere. Just go to Miami and just be hot and get as much of whatever you want. Why you gotta stick around and put your hand on the glass for poor Joe? You can go live up your life, man. I feel
Nah,
you know,
man, it's true love.
Yeah.
It always makes me feel better, and maybe this is like I don't know, not vindictive, but maybe this is evil. But you watch these stories and you go, man, I used to be much dumber when I was this person's age, but it wasn't nearly this dumb.
Oh, you weren't leave your family to join a fucking
meth cult? No.
A meth tiger cult? Don't forget the word.
No, you know what?
You need all the words
you know
in there.
I wasn't.
Huh. Well, how about that? Right? Yeah. and there's all these little moments where you're like, haha, look at this silly shit. And then it just hard cuts to, you want to see how we deal with problems around here? And just boom. And you're like, why are we cutting to like hard explosives and gunshots as like little
so
transition
early,
stingers?
like episode 1, right?
You know, and then at some point they're literally like staring at the footage of like, here's a fucking blow up doll of Carol, and he's just like, ha ha.
I think it's like episode 3 or 4 in which the a lawsuit is lost and possessions have to start being given away.
Yeah.
And we smash cut to, oh, you want my fucking bed? And then it blows up with like dynamite or some shit.
This bitch
You
wants
ain't
my
getting
watch. You want this watch?
And I'm like staring with my mouth open, being like, this is the halfway point.
Dude,
where can this possibly go?
It could not have been episodes 1 or 2. It had to be somewhere in there where they're like, we got a gift for you, Carol, and then they like, we put poisonous snakes in your mailbox. Poisonous snakes in the mailbox was like episode 1.
Up, that were males effectively too. That, like,
you know, fuck, man. And it's like, yeah, like you have to remember too, she's not up the street.
No, she's out in Florida.
She's in another state. They have to go down there to fuck with them. When he wants to put on the bloody bunny suit and just roll around on the ground in front of Big Cat Rescue signs and be all like, oh God, my guts are all out, I'm fucking dead. He has to drive down to Florida to do that.
It's incredible.
Yeah, Tiger King. The Tiger Lords.
Oh my God. This is everything about this is the best.
Again, the only thing I have to say about, and just in terms of just like the documentary making, well, one, it was pretty like interesting to see why the reality TV guy was there, right? Like, why are you following him?
Man.
Why are you talking to him? And it's like, well, because your story has a conclusion, you know. But
it sure does.
But no, the problem is that when you are when you get to that final episode and you're just in the like, well, legal stuff, it's like, yeah, we got nothing else to really say. There's nothing else going on. So let's just follow the amputee guy around because and you're like, what are you? Can we stop following this guy? Like, what do we have to?
John Rinke and Saf, and I forget the third guy's name. The emaciated Shaggy with the sunglasses.
He was legit. That dude.
Those three people, they're legit, and they seemed like real good people.
Shaggy,
and they got fucked, man.
Shaggy was just like, yep, I saw a job on Craigslist. It's like, you want to take care of tigers? I'm like, I sure ain't done that before. So yeah, totally gets in there and is like, every time he's doing things, he's just riding around with this he's pouring gas into from one container to another with a lit cigarette hanging out his mouth. And you're just like, yeah, this dude's real, man. And they're just like, cool. Check it out. How do we eat? Well, here's the buckets of fucking pizza of meat, of old meat from the goddamn grocery stores and the Walmart. It's like, you want to have some of this exotic pizza? Yeah, where do you think the meat came from? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's great. Yeah, it could have been one episode shorter. That's the only thing I gotta say.
Or it could have been one episode longer if they waited 1 year.
If they waited 1 year, I suppose. But hey, people needed Tiger King now. Now was the time. And anybody who's currently filming a documentary, you have to wonder if they're filming it and everyone's kind of wondering, it's like, if I wait long enough, do you think something's going to happen? If you're following a case that's kind of interesting and you're like, should we cash out? It's like Killer Instinct. You got all this damage and you're going like, you got your auto doubles going, duh. And then you're seeing big damage and you're like, I can just do the ender right now. But
just do the ender right now.
But if some crazy shit happens and we're still filming, it's gonna be even better. I want to go for a godlike combo, And you're waiting to see if you're gonna get a counter broken. You want to know. But until then, you gotta keep rolling. You gotta keep hitting those auto doubles. Especially the weirder the character, the wilder the location, the more you gotta keep it going. You're gonna hold out at least for another couple months.
There's going to be a sequel to Tiger King in like 25 years where they just find like 100 skeletons of something in one of their yards. And it won't be tigers.
It really is interesting too how like the takeaway after all of it, everyone lands on the same page, which is, as fucked as this whole thing goes, the absolute go fuck yourself villain is the one who's framing herself as the protagonist, right?
Yeah, Paige was able to nail it down just why everyone is like, the takeaway is like, okay, Jeff Lowe, he is a professional scumbag. You can see that from far away.
He made his fortune on scum. Yeah.
His friend, a possible murderer, small-time criminal.
Convict guy,
Joe, insane. Just insane.
Yeah.
But Carol's trying to tell you, Doc's a leader of a cult.
Cult leader.
You get that.
Big fucking manipulator creepo.
But Carol is trying to tell you that she's Cat Jesus.
Yeah.
And there's something about that insincerity is just like,
especially,
fuck.
And like, here's the thing.
I hate it.
Like, of course, when they cut to the missing husband's family, you go, oh, there it is. But even before they show them, when you see her just like basically being like, well, we're Big Cat Rescue, we're not a zoo, but we still do charge tickets and admission, and we still do basically run the same kind of business. The only difference is we don't
let you pet the cubs.
We don't touch
them.
Don't
pet the cubs.
But otherwise, it's the same fucking shit. And also, we don't pay our volunteers. So there's that. We get millions of hits on YouTube and we get millions of hits on Facebook. and Facebook's, and we get these huge checks online or whatever. But we have people that are here that get shirt colors, and the longer you volunteer, the better your shirt color gets, and you get more privileges. You can clean the shit even better with the right color shirt. And we just fucking literally rip through people that are volunteers, not even knowing their names the whole time, you know? And it's like, this is like, it is so much more sinister because it's that false Jesus thing, as you said. Meanwhile, there is a literal skeleton in the closet. You know, the how they met, you know, it's just like, here, hold this gun on me. We just want to drive around, all that shit.
What? Why? Why did we just jump straight to gun?
It escalate immediately to gun violence.
Like instantly.
I believe this was the phrase. Well, there you go. Full marriage started, escalated from the jump on gun. Relationship starts with gun. Anyway. I feel like Tiger King.
You should probably all watch Tiger King.
Yeah, I feel like we can talk about it for fucking ever. But there you go. Yeah, that's
it's pretty all right.
And it's not. And you know what? You don't. I even though I think the extra episode was didn't need to exist, it still is only 7.
Yeah,
it's a pretty quick watch. It's very
concise.